starting the auction off at $1 for 1 minute, like we always do.
This is one of our favorite covers, and you got it.
A little bit of that, what y'all been looking for, right? A little bit of that, what y'all been looking for, right?
We are going to be talking about facsimiles versus original prints.
Okay, facsimiles versus original prints. And I want to kind of broaden this just a little bit to reprints in general. So,
oh, yeah.
And I think this is a good example of why even we're making this for our new collectors, of course, right? We're making this for our homies in the community as well, though, our intermediate and our advanced comic collectors. And I want to fill some of this information up with some relevant content. So, it's not just a good reminder. So so the community knows what's going on in the market that they're part of. So the first thing is, what are some problems that arise as it pertains to reprints, Sammy? I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to discuss, but some members may be brand new.
I would say it's like one of those things like with the... when, like the Ultimate Fallout 4, I was going to say that's probably the most relevant one. The one that was the one that just came out recently is where you see it looked so similar to the OG copy. And it's one of those things too, where, you see it around a lot. It's like, oh, how did people not know this was the reprint? You know what I mean? And it makes me think back to when I first got into comics. When I first got into comics, I was collecting and for Tony. And when he was deployed, I wanted to get him a gift, right? He wanted the first appearance of Guardians of the Galaxy. And this was a huge issue for me at the time that I didn't even think about. I bought him the Astonishing Tales
29
really high. I probably have the record sale for Astonishing Tales first appearance of the Guardians Galaxy. It's still on his PC. We still have it. Because I legit didn't know. And I did get kind of tricked into it because it was one of those things where you can word things a certain way on eBay and a new person wouldn't necessarily know any other way. And, people wonder how that happens. And I'll tell you straight up, before comics, everything I bought or collected didn't have a reprint. Why would I think that this wasn't the actual copy? You know what I mean? And you think about it that way, it's like, oh yeah. I never thought to check because I had no idea reprints were a thing. I didn't know that facsimiles and all that stuff were a thing. And so when they look so identical, where you see the New Mutants 98 or the Marvels, what was it, Moon Knight 32?
Yeah, Werewolf by Night 32, the facsimiles.
Yeah.
They look identical, near identical.
Oh, yeah. Ultimate Fallout 4, they all look so similar. So that was why this was one of the topics we wanted to bring up first, is because when you're new to comics, it's so easy to be rifling through comics or go online and be like, oh my gosh, I found an Ultimate Fallout 4 for only $200. And then with time or whenever you realize, it was the reprint. And so I think that's where it's the issue.
It's a big problem considering, actually, let's just get right into it. You said some of the comics, so I want to actually prove it to the comic fam that this is relevant. This is still a problem and something that if we don't help our new comic members to our community, they're going to be dealing with stuff like this. So, Astonishing Tales featuring Guardians of the Galaxy. You're looking at it right here on the screen. This particular book features the first appearance of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, first thing about this is that it doesn't look like the team people would know. So already there is a level of, you can imagine someone who's brand new, not really knowing what they're getting. They're already seeing layers of difficulty here. So take a look at this.
Absolutely.
These right here are copies of Astonishing Tales 29. And actually, maybe if I bring it on the bigger screen here, what we are looking at right here for our audio fam is a reprint that was made. It's actually an older book. This is an older book. It's a 25 center, and we're looking at eBay sales in the last 3 months of $1, $7, $5, $7.81 plus $10 shipping. Shout out to that Canadian seller. So this right here are all people who I would expect they are maybe completionists. Maybe they can't afford the first appearance. And here's where the problem arises. In the same time span, we also have sales like this. Astonishing Tales, a reprint, issue number 29. This is the same book. And what are we looking at? A $95 sale and a under $60 sale best offer regardless, considering some of these have sold in the last 3 months for $1. Anything above 10 to 15, even in high grade, is questionable, and this is a VF plus. So clearly there are members of our community, probably new members, who are mistaking this book for something that they really hope is the first appearance and first print, but it's not. And this one's a tricky one because it's a bit older, but let's look at something newer. And by the way, Marvel Superheroes Presents, issue number 18, is the book that you're after. Oh, and did I say, what was the price on that first one? Oh, it's also, to boot, they're both 25 cents. Who would have thought? Okay.
Yeah, they look so alike.
They look very, very similar. Now, next on the screen, Sammy, we have New Mutants 98. Now, something funny that Marvel did is they started making their facsimiles look near identical. This particular book, I can tell from a mile away, just like any other collector. Yes, it's a reprint. I mean, look at the price. It's $4. Like that's not how much that book was. However, it does say New Mutants 98. It does say, now introducing Gideon. Like this right here, you got Domino on the bottom. Like this is as close to the first print as these reprints get. And let's look at the price. What? August 8th for $100? That's gotta be an anomaly, right? I mean, you see this, comic fam. It's $100. What's going on? Well, it's probably just like one sale, right? Just one. I mean, this is in the last 3 months, right? This is probably just a one-off. What we're looking at are 3 different sales for $99. Buy it now on different days. Problem, right? Because this book is a $4 book. And yes, maybe it's worth a little bit more because it's a facsimile. Not a whole lot of people, a lot of people ordered it, but considering this is a huge character, I can imagine this going for $10, $15. Absolutely. Yeah. But 100 is the telltale signs that something's wrong. Now, last but not least, you mentioned it. And by the way, we're also looking at a first print of New Mutants 98. You can tell by the Captain America in the bottom right of the comic, bottom left if you're looking at it. You can see the dollar price right here on the top left. It looks different, right? Some telltale signs. And we'll give you some tips, comic fam, for all you new, all the new peeps of how you can easily figure this out. But we're demonstrating the problem here because this one right here is the newest and probably what we're seeing is potentially the biggest problem of the batch yet. Because Marvel went from True Believers, which are a facsimile reprint, but they put a banner on the top. So you can tell it's like, this is a reprint.
That made it so much easier.
They did. But you know what? You know who wasn't buying it as much? Is the collectors. They weren't selling as well. So then they changed to what the New Mutants 98 looked like. They changed it a bit, but they got rid of that banner. And now this is a first appearance of Miles Morales, Ultimate Fallout 4. It's a $3.99 MSRP. And this is a first print. This right here is a facsimile. $46.
It looks so close.
On bid. Is that an anomaly? No, because October 29th, $29. You hear those bombs, comic fan? Because this is not what this book should go for. On my Whatnot claim sale, I'll bring a couple of these. I'll literally say, comic fam, if you are bidding on this because you want the book, if it goes above $10, do your fellow comic fam members a favor and stop bidding it up, because we don't want to sell this for anything more than $10. Because high grade copies, sure, it's first miles, it's it's competitive, but $30 for this book, out of the question. No way. No.
Oh,
way.
Absolutely. And those books you can find. I mean, our LCS has like a wall of and they're all cover price. All of them. You can get your Ultimate Fallout 4. You can get your New Mutants 98, your Moon Knight, all of them. And a lot of shops still have them in stock. You're able to get to your shop to get one. definitely would consider it.
All right.
For
And
sure.
some things that you can look out for. And here, if you look at this particular example, let's see if I can actually move it just a little bit. There's some signs that are key indicators that this book is not a first print that you're seeing on the screen. The first is the barcode is hugging the bottom left of the comic book. Notice when I take you back to this first print here, it's not hugging the spine. You actually see some of the art to the right of it. Now, that's something that is going to make it really simple to spot. But also notice the Marvel banner right here, this logo, it's a different color on the reprint. This reprint shows it in red instead of what the first print shows. The first print is not red. And I'm missing the actual image here. But notice it's not red here on the top left of the Marvel. So a way that the community can get well-versed in spotting these types of things is really simple. The best app for comic book resources in existence, Key Collector Comics. You're going to see reprints in there that are notated with specifics if they are selling well. You're going to be able to see actual pictures of the comic book first prints with price suggestions in the top right. We're going to get to that in a bit, so stay tuned. Hit the subscribe button. But Key Collector, if you use code Tom101, you can unlock a free 2-week subscription. But the app is free. This is a part of the collector's toolbox that everybody should have. If you pay a little bit more every month, I think it's $2 a month, you get the first 2 weeks free with that code. You unlock other categories, things that are going to enhance your spec and your investing, and you're going to get like key alerts and things like that. However, the app itself, the database is there for everybody to use. We have no excuse in this community to get confused about whether you have a reprint or not, because they're all logged in there, all the first prints with pictures so you can match it up. Sammy, had you had that, you would have been golden when you were buying that book.
I was just thinking about that. I wish I had that when I first started, because it would have been so helpful in so many ways. And yeah, you have it right in your pocket. Con season's back in full bloom. Shops are open again. Go out, travel safely. But with that being said, that's something that you can have in your pocket. You always have, usually people always have their phone on them, and it's a free app. Or like he said, I have the $2 a month subscription. I can definitely sacrifice a cup of coffee a month for that $2. But yeah, it's so great having the pictures right there, because yeah, like Tom said, had I had that, because once I did have that app, actually, I used it a lot in the beginning to help me find stuff that I was wanting to collect for characters and stuff. But had I had that, I probably would not have made that mistake, which to me now is like glaringly obvious, especially since we have like the true Guardians of the Galaxy one. It's like so glaringly obvious now, but then I had it. I had the real deal, and that's what I thought. So
don't be like every other collector, the new comic members to our community. This is something we've all experienced, I've bought reprints. Sammy's been on the mic talking about reprints she's bought. This chat, we're seeing members say, oh yeah, I've gotten reprints as well. Reprints are for those who missed the boat on the first print, right? And I think that's really well put. If you can't afford the first print, you can get something still very cool. I have nothing against reprints, nothing against facsimiles.
Oh, for sure.
What I am against is people not knowing what they're buying. And unfortunately, what we're seeing is on eBay, because there's not vetted sellers like on Whatnot, you can put whatever you want in that title. And if you fail to put reprint or facsimile, everything else looks right. Ultimate Fallout 4, first appearance of Miles Morales, Marvel Comics, key book. None of those things are factually incorrect. That's what you have in the facsimile. The problem is that they're not being as ethical as they should be by putting
not
the
being
word
fully honest. Yeah.
reprint, facsimile. So if you are selling on eBay, please do that for your fellow members, because then you're avoiding possibly, confusing someone and making them pay more for a book that they shouldn't. And if you're a brand new member to the community, grab Key Collector, and you have a database where you can look at pictures and make sure that what you're doing is what you want, what you intended. Otherwise, be patient and don't pay that much, what we just saw on the screen, for reprints, because they are going for way cheaper than what some of these members have paid for in the last 3 months.
Oh, absolutely.